Hey friends, welcome to the podcast. On this episode brought to you by the MRA, we are heading to Rockford, Michigan to talk to Raeann Rouse. She is the owner of Bridge Street Baby. As I said, our guest today on the podcast from Bridge Street Baby, Raeann, how are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It is a joy, actually, to have you because, as I said in our emails back and forth, I'm just a few feet from your actual store in Rockford, Michigan. But for people who are not familiar or maybe haven't made it to Rockford, I kind of want to go back to the beginning and slightly before 2017. I know both of your parents kind of had that entrepreneurial spirit.
Yes.
Were you doing things like lemonade stands and stuff as a kid, or like when did the bug bite you before 2017?
Oh gosh, I've worked retail my whole career. Did the corporate thing, worked for my mom, worked for my dad. My dad had tool and die companies. I cleaned his offices at night. So did that for sure. Worked in small businesses downtown Holland, just kind of did all of that. Left corporate, had a baby, then thought, okay, don't like corporate, want to do this myself. And
Okay.
um, so the building, my parents actually owned my building. So when the building came up for lease, I told my dad, I'm like, it's my time. Like, it's time for me to do this. Cause I knew all along this is what I was meant to do. And it was like perfect timing. So the old business closed and we painted, opened. I think it was like 6 weeks from when that closed, we opened Bridge Street Baby, and it's 5 years later, still here. So
And congratulations on that, because like before we started the
thank
interview, I
you.
said you had to go through a global apocalypse as part of that 5 years, and
Yes,
well, I mean, there are a fair amount of businesses that didn't make it out on the other side, right? Like,
right.
so it's awesome to see you there 5 years later. What has it been like in the last, let's say, just 2 years? Because my guess is the business has changed in a way because people are thinking about people around them differently, and a store like yours with
Right.
unique gifts that's thoughtful and goes from 0 to 24 months. Like, what's the
Yeah.
business been like since 21? Let's say.
It's definitely the one thing that I say about that happened from being in quarantine is people definitely think about where they're spending their money. They the small business, they don't want them to leave. I hear that all the time is that we only want to shop small business because I mean everything when we were in quarantine, everything came to our door. Now you actually like it's easier just to stay home and do it, but they like coming down. And especially for me, I feel lucky that when you want to buy a baby gift, you want to come in and you want to know what you're giving. Like you can buy anything and you get it and it wouldn't feel like you wanted it to feel to give. So people like to know what they want to touch it, they want to feel it, they want to see. And plus you get the personal touch. I mean, free gift wrap and like we make it special.
I know you said that it was your time, but for people who haven't been into the store, you've got a very, very specific aesthetic. Where
Yeah.
it's almost like, and maybe I hope you take this as a compliment because I mean it to be, it's almost like the products accentuate the space like they were created to be in your store. You know what I mean? It
Right.
feels like
Well,
it's
I mean,
it's
I'm
one
yes.
unified space, and I'm wondering, was that an instantaneous thing that you would over a life in retail just knew what it was going to be like, or how did the aesthetic of the store itself kind of develop?
I pick things that I like. Like I've always said, I have to love it or I'm not going to bring it in. Because I mean, there's things like you can have filler and like, oh, well, that's okay. But it's like, if someone's going to buy something, I want them to be like, oh my gosh, Bridge Street Baby is the place to go for a baby gift because things are beautiful. And I mean, that's like, I tell people, this is my happy place. Like, I love coming to work. Like, it's just, you can't come in here and not be happy. But I definitely pick what I like and what I love, and it just kind of all flows. And I do listen to my customers. But I definitely, it's funny, people come in and say, this is definitely a grandma store because it's grandma bait. Like grandmas come in and they see, a pretty dress and the mom might not like pink, but the grandma loves pink. So I'm like, well, the baby can wear it at grandma's house. So it's definitely, I have to love it or it doesn't come in. I don't just buy things because it's the most popular or it's the trend. It's definitely thought out. It's a gift. Like I look at things as a gift. Like, would you want to receive this as a gift? Would I want to give it as a gift? Because I mean, like that's why I'm here, is because I am your destination for a baby gift.
So obviously the MRA has brought you and I together, and so I would be remiss if I didn't ask, for a business like yours going through what you went through just 2 years kind of after they did an interview with you, how does the MRA help a business like you navigate through not only what we went through, but going on into the future? How does the MRA help you?
Well, I told Bill when I interviewed with him, when I'm on the board of directors, and I said I feel like I'm a minnow in an ocean, because I mean there's huge stores and that stores have been around for 30 years, and he's like, well, that's what we want. We want more of this. And being around them, like they advocate for small business, not just retailers and grocers and everything that they do, but they definitely have a heart for small business in Michigan. And just like being in the board meeting with all other business owners, it's just like there's just this energy of we're all like, we love what we do. It's retail is like, you either love it or you hate it. You don't just do it for a job. But they definitely advocate for us and give us the tools that we need. I'm really happy that I joined. I mean, I've been a member since I opened, but they definitely look out for the small people, not just the big corporations.
Now let's kind of forward thinking, a little vision quest for you. What's the rest of 23 look like for you, and what does 24 look like? Because it very much feels to me, obviously, this is a unique interview given the fact that you and I live very close
Right.
to one another, so I'm familiar with what's happening. But it very much feels like Rockford's energy and the amount of people in Rockford has bounced back, maybe even increased from 2019 levels till now. And I'm interested from a retailer's perspective who's done this for a while. Does it feel like that? What does 23 look like for you? Are you excited about this year? What's 24 look like? What is the future for Bridge Street Baby?
I think that Rockford is boom. Like we're in the boom right now. I don't think that there's an empty retail. I don't even think there's a spot that you can rent retail, which it kind of goes in waves. But right now everything is full. Next door to me, they're renovating an old building, which is only going to bring more people around. Um, they're definitely growing, and the support of Rockford, it's amazing. I mean, it's a small town, but I mean, there's a lot of people, but it's definitely a small town that people come here. They love it. I mean, it's everything you need is here.
Well, and what's great about what you're doing, and you even said it back in the interview with the MRA in 2019, is I'm thinking between you and the not mentioned store on 28th Street, I don't know where you would go to buy a bespoke baby. And that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. Like the store feels
Yeah.
very bespoke. Like you walk in and
Yeah.
it feels like it's for you, even though you just got there, which is pretty awesome. But there is nothing between here and there for people to shop. And so I'm interested in, what's the customer base like for you? How many people, how far do they travel from? How often do they come back? Like, what does that look like for you?
Well, going back to what you said about the store, I think I am one of the only baby. Like there are children's stores and there are children's stores that carry baby, but I am strictly, and when I opened, I debated, and I still have customers daily ask, are you going to go in your, range of sizes bigger? But once you hit a toddler size, they get an opinion and they will tell you, I'm not going to wear that. Babies don't have an
Yes,
opinion.
babies
So
do not have it. Yes, that should be a shirt that you start
I
making right now. Is
I
babies do
should.
not have opinions.
I love that. So yeah, so I definitely am a destination for baby. I do get people out of town, a lot of Grand Rapids people, as far as Caledonia, and I mean all over. And it's funny because people say, well, I came from Hudsonville, and I'm like, I laugh, I'm like, it's really not that far. But again, I live in a bubble, so I don't leave Rockford, so I know what that feels like, is that it's far for them to come. But I definitely get people. I actually have a customer in Texas that I text her pictures when I get new stuff in, and I mail her stuff out. Um, so yeah, so I'm like, I always tell people, if you're not local, we make it easy to shop because I can text you pictures. I mean, thank God for text. So there we can connect that way. But yeah, I mean, it's from all over. And once they find me, I try to stay connected. Through text, sending thank you notes, things like that. So
So if people are hearing about you for the first time, what's the best way for them to kind of aside from driving to the store physically, but how do they find you online? Where do they look Bridge Street Baby up? Like, is it Facebook? Is it the
On
website?
Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Bridge Street Baby. I don't have a website just because I mean I'm 600 square feet, so I am a small store. But like I said, I'm happy they can find my information. I can email. We can email, text. I mean, we definitely, if you want to shop, we can FaceTime. Like we will help you shop. That is for sure.
Raeann, thank you
Yeah.
so much for the time. We will talk to you again
Thank
soon.
you. All right.